this guy right here, who's been seriously underpaid, Matt, seriously underpaid, and I think he's just said, I've had enough of you Buccaneers. I'm under contract this year, and I'll stick it out for one more year in red and pewter, but I'm just tired of being perpetually underpaid in this league, and I'm just going to go to Fox and make $37 million a year.
Nice to see Tom Brady get a break.
I mean,
he deserves it.
Yeah, he deserves it. I mean, he's put in a lot of time in this league, man. I mean, this is what, year 23 for him. He's going to be 45 in August. So yeah, I mean, I just think, for all of Tom's hard work, it's finally coming together for him, Matt. I think that Tom is finally getting the big break that he deserves. He's been a pretty good quarterback in this league for a long time. I mean, we'll see if he reaches the Tony Romo level, right, in the booth. Because I think now Tony Romo and Troy Aikman, two former quarterbacks, right? One's in the Hall of Fame, one's a Hall of Fame broadcaster. I mean, I'm ready to put Tony Romo there right now. I think Tony Romo is phenomenal. And you got to think that it's like, Brady, he passed Troy Aikman a long time ago in terms of Super Bowl rings and all of that. And so, Aikman's probably like, damn, man, he passed me and, on the field, and he was going to pass me in the booth in terms of making money. But there's something about Tony Romo that has me thinking, you know what, Brady, you're better than me on the field, right? You won Super Bowls and I didn't, but I'm going to be a better commentator than you. And it's going to be interesting to see.
It's the only chance that Tony Romo has to say that he's better at something than Tom Brady. Though Tony Romo is actually a pretty good golfer too. So I like to see them go one-on-one against each other on the golf course. Now, I'm curious, Scott, to see what you think, because I'm a little interested, because not necessarily that Tom Brady has a plan for when he's finally done with football, and he's not going that far from football because he's staying as a broadcaster. But there was a lot of talks about, I mean, you just look at Brady has so many things going on in the offseason, let alone with the TB12 workout plan and the Brady brand that, he launched last year and seems to be doing well and has a new golf line now too. So I'm a little surprised in the sense that I didn't necessarily think that Brady was going to go the broadcasting route, just because there was talks about him wanting to be an owner. Now, the money is there. Obviously, all the reports came out, and you just talked about the giant big paycheck, huge paycheck that he's going to get this year. But I also wonder as well too, because while Troy Aikman has transitioned great and Tony Romo was almost flawless coming out of the gate, that's not the case for every single former NFL player. Like Dan Patrick was saying this a lot today too, that just because you're a former great player doesn't make you a great broadcaster. And Dan Patrick pointed out that, even Drew Brees wasn't that stellar working for NBC. Now that's his opinion, and he thought Brees was better in the booth than versus when he would be like a sideline guy or just part of the NBC broadcast. And I think an even better example was Jason Witten of the Cowboys. When he did Monday Night Football, people were not a fan. They thought he was very robotic, to the point where he went back into the NFL because he didn't like doing
Booger McFarland got killed up in the booth. I mean, I think he was great on the sidelines, right, with the Booger mobile or Booger cam, whatever that was. Then he goes upstairs, and it's tough, right? And now you're competing. If you're Monday Night Football, now you're competing against the Mannings too over on ESPN too. So it's really become kind of the Wild West when it comes to all of these TV personalities. Richard Sherman going to be joining Amazon, another former Buccaneer. So it's interesting to see all of these players try to make that leap from the field to the booth and do it as flawlessly as some of these guys have. I think I'm a Chris Collinsworth fan. I appreciate his approach to it. Yeah, right. I mean, Collinsworth and Romo. I mean, John Madden back in the day was an absolute classic, and really just kind of redefined the whole color analyst role, right? With just the telestrator and the booms and all that stuff. So it'll be interesting to see. I will say this about Brady. If the humor and the wit that Brady brings to social media can translate into the booth, it's going to be a hit. If we get the stale, generic, I'm not going to give you guys anything from the press conference, Brady. If that's the guy it's in the booth, it's not going to go well. So I think Brady's got it in him. He's just got to bring the fire that he does, like on social media. He's got to bring that level to the booth. He can't be Mr. Nice Guy, Mr. Politically Correct. I'm going to play it right down the middle. He's got to have an opinion. He's got to get under some guy's skin. I think he can. We'll see.
Yeah, I agree. And I have no doubts that Brady is going to put in, the work ethic and everything that made him such a great football player. I know he'll put in that attention to detail when it comes to being a broadcaster as well, too. My only concern is he needs to get reps. I've done some play-by-play broadcasting, doing college on a small scale, doing college hockey, a little baseball, some golf. You need reps. You need to keep going and get better at it. You can't just show up and get it moving. So I would like to see how much of almost practice broadcasting that Brady can get in. But you know what? That's a ways down the road, maybe next year, maybe 2 years from now. Right now, Tom Brady is currently the Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback.